In a vortex, I realized that what I just said in the previous video was a total contradiction of this entire channel. Because this channel is pretty negative, you know? I say a lot of stuff that, you know, people don't like because it's harsh. I did a poster recently that said, honesty is an even better policy, or no, brutal honesty is an even better policy. It really is, though. It's really good at weeding people out, too. Weeding out the pussies, you know. But I don't want to be like that, though. Just assuming that you're a pussy all because you can't handle somebody. You know, just telling you precisely what you don't want to hear. But I don't know, man. I would much rather somebody tell me that than, like, keep skirting around the issue, doing this little dance. And it's like, I can always tell when somebody's doing that with me, and I'm like, dude, just tell me straight up. That would be better. But people don't want to do that because they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You know? Not that we should just hurt people's feelings. That's not what I'm suggesting. I don't want to hurt anybody. That's why I try to stay away from people, because that's what I often do. Because I just really like being alone more than anything else. And I don't regret that, you know? Like, I go to church with a bunch of families, and I don't regret not having kids. Like, it's something that I would have done a long time ago if that's what I wanted, because it doesn't make any sense for people to have kids when they get old. The reason why they're using all these like alternative methods to get pregnant is because they waited too damn long and they're not fertile anymore. And a lot of the time, you know, the stuff that we consume on a regular basis, whether it's food or alcohol and drugs and technology, it lowers fertility. So the reason why the birth rates are declining is because of our habits a lot of the time. Because, you know, there are plenty of younger women that I go to church with, they ain't got no problem getting pregnant. But that's because they're doing it right. People that do it wrong, they get the results of doing it wrong. You know? So I remember when I turned 30, this really good friend of mine is about to turn 30 tomorrow, and she's like freaking out because she realized that she wants to be a mom. And I was like, well, you still can, you know, your eggs are still decent. remember when I turned 30, like, I thought to myself, well, I'm not having kids, you know? If I wanted that, I would have already done that, so I guess I should do comedy so that I don't off myself. And that's me being brutally honest there, because, yeah, like, if the world weren't falling apart, I think that way more people would be breeding right now, you know? It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that everything has happened to discourage people from doing what we're, like, biologically and psychologically prone to do, you know? I'm just a fucking nutcase, so if I can't keep a man, there ain't no way I'm having kids, because that shit is wrong, okay? People either need to do it right or not do it at all. And I am a fascist when it comes to sex, because I'm adopted, so, you know, I'm the best case to make for sexual fascism, alright? Because it's just unbelievable, the amount of screwed up people in this world, and it's all because their parents were selfish. And I know that my mom, like, tried to do the right thing by having me, regardless of the situation. Like, she obviously felt like it was wrong to have an abortion. But, you know, I think about this shit all the time. Like, every time I see a child, every time I see a baby, every time I see a family, I think about this. Especially when I see these families that aren't really families. They're just a bunch of phone addicts that gather together and they happen to have the same genes. It's just absolutely sickening, like, what people have chosen voluntarily, and then they want to blame the elite for everything being bad. It's like the reason why everything's so bad is because we have willingly accepted our demise. We've willingly accepted things that are not good for us. And it's like a state of learned helplessness with the phones. It really is. Because if you try to bring this to people's attention, they don't want to hear it. They just want to keep whining about some politician, you know, or some billionaire, or somebody in their life that wronged them. But I don't know, man. I just rather move forward any way that I can. And if I'm stuck, I should find something to do while I'm here, you know? If I've got to be in the same position, I better come up with something cool to keep me entertained, you know? I guess that's the cool thing about being mentally ill.